Okay, so we're diving straight in today with something really special. We're not looking at the usual sources.
No, not today.
We've got a direct line to someone whose insights, well, we've come to trust completely. Our friend, Lorenzo.
Yes, Lorenzo.
For those of you who haven't heard us talk about him, he's more than just an astrologer. He's a tarot reader, kind of a prophet, honestly. His predictions have just consistently...
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely. We've both known him a while now, and his ability to just see things, it's really unlike anyone else. So we knew we had to bring his complete forecast for Leo
Exact.
for the May 12th, 2025 full moon in Scorpio directly to you.
That's it. What you're going to hear is pure Lorenzo. No interpretation from us, no cutting things out, just his message, exactly as he gave it. We just have this huge confidence in his insights, the emotional resonance.
Totally.
And he did mention, if you know your ascendant sign, your rising sign, consider that too. It gives a more personal layer.
Right. Good point. And his framework, it's just so cool. He sees planets as tarot archetypes, And the zodiac signs are like costumes, masks they wear, and the houses, that's the stage. It's all this grand psychic opera, as he calls it.
I love that. Psychic opera. Okay, so today's focus, Leo May 2025 Tarastrology full moon in Scorpio. And Lorenzo gave this core message that just hits hard. Your inner temple is haunted, burn the throne to build a home.
Phew. And then the explanation, you're not protecting your peace, you're protecting your prison, time to collapse the facade, that's direct.
No kidding. So let's get into the cosmic event. Lorenzo identifies this as the high priestess, that's the full moon's energy. But she's cloaked as death, which is the Scorpio influence, right? And she's entering Leo's fourth house.
Okay, the fourth house, the temple of roots, home, safety, your emotional bones, basically, deep stuff.
Exactly. He says this full moon isn't just about feeling a bit insecure at home. It's about uncovering buried issues, stuff related to home, family, maybe ancestry, your emotional lineage.
Leading to potentially ancestral release, he said, or like an emotional rebirth. Or maybe just shattering that illusion that, I'm fine, everything's fine.
Yeah, that illusion. And he was so clear. The high priestess doesn't knock. She arrives already inside. There's no avoiding this.
Wow. Okay.
And the key discovery he points to for Leo, you're about to discover how deeply you've built your kingdom on emotional quicksand.
Oof. Emotional quicksand. That's a powerful image. Okay, so let's dig into his tarot planetary archetype breakdown. First up.
A trine to Saturn. Lorenzo connects Saturn to the world card in tarot, and Saturn is in Pisces, which he links to the moon card, all happening in Leo's 8th house.
Okay, so a trine that's usually flowing supportive energy, right?
Yeah.
Saturn world suggests completion. Pisces moon brings in that deep, intuitive, watery feel. And the 8th house, that's transformation, shared resources, intimacy, the deep stuff.
Right. Lorenzo sees this as more than just an ending. He calls it a sacred final rite. Something connected to karmic ties, could be sexual, financial, maybe inherited patterns you're finally closing the door on.
And he mentioned cutting cords, right? Like releasing energy that wasn't really yours to carry in the first place.
Exactly. And that there's help available from the invisible world, ancestors, spirit guides, your own inner wisdom. You just need to be open to it.
Makes sense. Okay, what's next in the breakdown?
Another trine. This time to the North Node retrograde, which he connects to the star reversed, also in Pisces, also in the 8th house.
North Node. That's usually about your soul path, where you're heading. Retrograde suggests maybe looking back or inward. And the star reversed.
Lorenzo sees that as like a hidden divine path.
Yeah.
Maybe a mystical gift, a healing ability, some psychic sense you almost gave up on. He says it's returning.
But there's a catch, right?
Yeah. No light without excavation. You have to be willing to dig deep, explore those hidden parts to really reclaim it.
Okay, so it requires work. Got it. What about harder aspects?
Yep, there's an opposition. Uranus, which he links to the Fool, is in Taurus, linked to the Hierophant. And this is happening in Leo's 10th house.
Opposition, tension, needing to find balance. Uranus Fool is disruptive, new energy. Taurus Hierophant is more about tradition, stability, established structures. And the 10th house is career, public image, legacy. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Lorenzo frames it as a crisis point. He asks, will you keep performing power or will you reclaim your truth? The Fool is shaking up your public persona.
So, like, your career, your image, how people see you, it could all get disrupted.
Potentially. He calls it an identity collapse moment, if that public image was built on fear or just sticking to tradition or performing. But here's the cool part. He says you don't lose your crown.
Okay.
You melt it down to forge something sacred. So the collapse isn't the end. It's raw material for something more authentic.
I like that. Turning disruption into creation. Okay.
That's sextile. That's an opportunity aspect. It's to the South Node retrograde, which Lorenzo connects to the devil reversed. This is Virgo, the hermit, in the second house.
Sextile, okay. Opportunity. South Node is past patterns, what we're moving away from. Devil reversed sounds like liberation from bondage or obsession. A Virgo hermit, introspection, analysis, maybe service. And second house is values, self-worth, resources.
Exactly. Lorenzo interprets this as a chance to break free from that obsession with being seen as practical, stable, humble, or useful. He says those are often just survival modes, ancestral programming stuff.
Things you thought were virtues, but were actually limitations.
Right. And his message here is huge. You don't need to earn safety. You are sacred. It's about realizing your inherent worth isn't tied to what you do or how practical you seem.
That's incredibly freeing. Wow. Okay, one more aspect in this section.
Yep, a quincunx. This indicates friction needing adjustment. It's Jupiter, the Wheel of Fortune, in Gemini, the Lovers, in the 11th house.
Quincunx. Awkward angle. Jupiter wheel brings expansion, luck, cycles. Gemini lover suggests choices, communication, relationships. And the 11th house is networks, friends, groups, future hopes.
Lorenzo warns about a glittery future trap. Like maybe a social opportunity comes along, more popularity, bigger network, seems amazing. But if it costs you your soul's voice, it's a trap. Plain and simple. He says, don't sell your soul to be liked by people who wouldn't survive your truth. Don't compromise your core self for social gain.
Strong warning. Okay, so that's the archetype breakdown. Then he gets into the deeper backdrop.
Yeah, the planetary backdrop that others miss. First thing he points out, Saturn conjunct the North Node in the 8th house. He sums this up as, grief is sacred work.
Conjunction means those energies are fused, amplified. Saturn is discipline, karma, lessons. North Node is growth, destiny. In the 8th, deep transformation. So grief as the path to growth.
Precisely. Lorenzo says flat out, your grief is your growth. Don't rush it. He encourages purposeful rotting, really sitting with the hard stuff, letting it break down. That's how the phoenix is built, he says.
Wow. Allowing the decomposition to fuel the rebirth. Intense. What's the next backdrop piece?
Uranus making aspects to both nodes. Sextile the North Node, trine the South Node. Lorenzo calls this lightning breaks the bloodline.
Uranus, the great awakener, the disruptor, harmonious aspects to the nodes, path forward, path behind, breaking the bloodline. That sounds radical.
It is. He's very clear. You're not healing the family system. You're ending it. He says this is Leo's soul contract right now. Disrupting those inherited patterns, the traditions, the poverty of expression, the emotional denial, the shame.
So it's not about fixing the ancestors. It's about freeing yourself from their pattern.
Exactly. You don't fix the lineage. You liberate yourself from it. It's personal liberation.
Okay. Powerful distinction. And the last part of this backdrop.
Jupiter square the nodes. Lorenzo's take. Your dream community isn't a fit yet. Square means tension, challenge.
Jupiter expanding things. Nodes about path and patterns. So tension between your growth and your current or desired community.
Yeah. He warns that any group, online platform, audience, whatever, if they don't honor your whole self, shadow included, it won't last. Don't twist yourself to be relatable, his advice. Be real and let those who fear the depth fall away.
Authenticity over fitting in. Okay. This leads to the wow moment.
It does. The root is possessed. Cleanse it. He says this goes way beyond typical inner child work.
Possessed. Like, how?
He calls it an energetic parasite, embedded deep in your emotional foundation. It's like dehaunting your inner temple, finding that ingrained voice, vow, or fear passed down through the bloodline.
Like what kind of voice?
He gave examples. You must hold it all together. Or, you're there, the strong one. Or maybe, don't speak the truth if it makes others uncomfortable. Sound familiar to any Leos listening?
Oof, yeah, I bet. So the full moon's directive is...
burn that script. Reclaim your soft. Reclaim your rage. Reclaim your true home. It's about taking back your authentic emotional landscape.
Powerful stuff. Okay, so after that intensity, he offers some practical magic.
He does. Practical magic no one tells you. First one is intense but practical. Clean your home like you're preparing for both a funeral and a birth. Burn rosemary, dust old photos, unplug tech. Actually talk to your rooms. Invite in what feels real, a whole ritual.
Wow, okay. Number 2.
Write a letter. To the version of you who first learned to pretend everything was okay, the one who put on the mask, and then burn it. He says, mourning is spiritual hygiene.
Letting go of that coping mechanism. Okay.
Third, Prioritize inner work over outer performance. Cancel one public engagement this week. Replace it with something nourishing for your soul, like an ancestral ritual or just a deep emotional bath. Because, as he puts it, your roots are more important than your reach.
Good reminder. Number 4.
A timing thing. Don't launch, pitch, or post just to stay relevant between May 12th and 14th. That specific full moon window. It's for cleansing, not performing.
Makes sense. Protect that inner process. And the last one.
An affirmation. Recite this aloud on May 12th. I am no longer the home others hide in. I build a temple where I can finally breathe.
That's potent. Creating your own sacred space.
Yeah. And all this practical magic leads to his final line for this part. This full moon doesn't want your productivity, your power, or your polish. It wants your raw. It wants your root. And it wants the haunted parts of you to come home so they can finally rest.
Wow. Raw. Root. Rest. Okay. But he wasn't finished there, right? There was more.
Nope, he had another layer. What everyone misses? This is crucial. He says, this full moon isn't about emotional release. It's about rewriting the root code of your identity.
Rewriting the root code. Okay.
He connects Scorpio in the 4th house directly to your emotional DNA plus ancestral shadows. It's deeper than just healing childhood stuff or clearing clutter, which is common advice.
So what's the real story then, according to him?
It's that you didn't just inherit trauma, you were trained to guard it. Like you became the royal keeper of emotional secrets, the golden child with a locked basement.
Whoa. The keeper of secrets. And now?
Now, the basement is flooding. And the full moon isn't asking you to just clean up the mess. It wants you to rip the floorboards out and reclaim what's underneath. Full excavation.
Okay. Intense. So what's the hidden nuance he mentioned? The part that makes it viral?
It addresses the fear of losing control during all this emotional upheaval. Lorenzo says quite directly, you're not losing control. You're losing the illusion of emotional control that has kept you stuck in someone else's story.
Ah, the illusion of control makes sense. So the things that feel stable maybe aren't built on solid ground.
Exactly. Your image, your role, your job. Maybe they're based on these unconscious emotional contracts signed under duress. Like, if I stay strong, they'll love me. Or if I succeed, I'll be safe. Or if I don't talk about the past, I won't fall apart.
Right. Those hidden bargains we make with ourselves or the world.
And the full moon's message. You're allowed to fall apart if it means you fall into truth. It's permission to break down, to break through.
Okay. That's huge permission, which leads to the spiritual nail-in moment.
Yeah. He states, this is not a full moon of healing. This is a full moon of emotional sovereignty. Big difference.
Emotional sovereignty, claiming ownership.
Yes. You no longer need to carry the house, be the family's emotional accountant, the internet's inspiring Leo, or your old survival script. You don't have to play those roles anymore.
So who are you then?
You are the threshold where the lineage ends and the legend begins. That's the potential. And he adds that the pain isn't just releasing the wound, it's releasing the identity that grew around it.
That's deep. Letting go of who you had to be. Okay, so more practical advice after that. Soul-burning advice.
Yep. Practical, soul-burning advice. Not generic, not fluff.
Yeah.
Number 1, for May 12th, go to the darkest room, sit in silence, ask, whose pain am I still carrying? Say the answer aloud, then declare, I release you now.
Simple, direct, powerful.
Okay, 2.
Grounding ritual. Place hands on the floor. Whisper. I give back what was never mine. I forgive what kept me bound. I rise from my roots, not in spite of them.
Using the roots as power.
Nice.
Protect your energy. Cancel any meeting, call, or plan that demands performing strength. Because, he says, you're not here to inspire others through emotional repression. You're here to embody liberation.
Okay. Set those boundaries. 4.
Curate your feed in your life. Unfollow, delete, or block someone who reminds you of who you had to be to survive, because your algorithm needs to match your soul evolution.
Ooh, digital and real life cleanse. Makes sense. And the last one.
Rewrite your story. Write a new family myth about who you become now. Frame it, speak it, burn the old one if you need to. Consciously create the new narrative.
Actively scripting the future based on this reclaimed self. Love it. And this all led to his final line.
The final wow line. This isn't your story's climax, it's your bloodline's release. The house you've been emotionally trapped in is collapsing. And finally, for the first time in generations, someone is walking out the front door in their truth, not their role.
Wow. Just walking out in truth. That's the goal. What an incredible download from Lorenzo.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that is his complete, unedited forecast. His closing call to action was simple, really. If this resonated with you, if you felt that, like, share, subscribe, Help get this message to others who might need it.
Yeah, definitely spread the word. And he also mentioned for anyone feeling ready to go deeper personally, he does offer personalized astrology or tarot readings. He sees them as like a divine blueprint, not just fortune telling.
Right, tools for clarity and purpose. His whole intention, he said, is to help you write your legacy louder, sharper, truer than ever.
A powerful mission.
Totally.
Yeah.
So for you listening, maybe just sit with that for a moment. Lorenzo's words about those emotional contracts signed under duress. Are there any of those playing out in your life, maybe subtly?
Yeah, what might those look like for you? And what would it actually feel like? What would it mean to finally walk out that front door, stepping fully into your truth, not just the role you were assigned or fell into?
It's definitely something powerful to reflect on.